Welcome to the fight game with Icewater and Puma and Ice. I know that this is our last show for the summer, but let's talk about some upcoming fights and then some of the fights that you want to see. I'm interested to see some of the fights that you want to see.
Yeah, well, this weekend you have a pretty good fight in light heavyweights. Artur Benavidez versus Joe Smith Jr. We have three titles on the line. Both of these guys are coming forward. They're strong, they're tough, kind of strong, deep guys, and you want to see that fight, especially when you have three titles on the line. Kind of even with Errol Spence Jr. when he put it on the line, to see if he could get it done prior to winning that fight, and then now getting ready for Terrence Crawford. So definitely for this weekend on Saturday, light heavyweights, Artur Benavidez versus Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah, so Joe Smith Jr. is 28-3. Benavidez is 17-0. So, he's putting it on the line. It's good to see that, folks who want to fight each other and put things on the line there. Before you go into, is there another fight? Because I wanted to tell you about a video I saw with one of the Charlo brothers who said he would go down in weight to fight. They were asking him, who would you want to fight? And he said, I want Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford is talking about he's pound for pound. You got a Charlo brother who's like, I will come down in weight and beat his ass. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, the only sad thing about it is, and you're talking about Jamal. Jamal is the bigger guy, and he fights like at 168, right? Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be a hard task for him to come down to 154 to fight this small guy. I think he's just kind of annoyed because he knows that Crawford had said if he beats Spence, he called out Jamel. And Jamel, is at 154. And he said, if I beat your boy, I want to clear the gym. So come up to fight him at 154. So I think Jamal's like, you know what? I'm tired of listening to it, man. He don't want to fight you. I'll come down and whoop you up. So that's what you need. Sound like you disrespected my brother. Sound like you just need your ass whooped. I'm 168. I'll come down to 154 and get that. Basically is what he said.
Yeah, and I haven't heard Terrence Crawford come back. So
certain things you need to leave alone.
Okay, some of the other fights you want to see, man.
Yeah, well, I think September 17th, we have the fight that, even though it's a little too late, but it is what it is. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin on September 17th. Hopefully we get to see this one September 25th, the rematch between Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. Does Anthony Joshua have anything else left? Now we're about to get into the meat and potatoes. I want to see the winner of Benavidez and Smith versus Bivol. Bivol's the guy that beat Canelo.
Yes.
We need to clean up that junior heavyweight division, get some clarity there. We're about to get into it now. Andy Ruiz Jr. versus my boy Luis Ortiz.
That should be a good one.
To be announced. Quit to be announcing and give me a damn date.
Because Luis Ortiz called out Andy Ruiz.
He called him out forever.
Yeah.
Called him out forever. Again, 168, David Benavidez wants either the Charlos or Canelo. It's not happening right now. They're not going to fight you. So do one better. Keep beating up people that you know that are in the way or close to you. Why not fight Caleb Plant?
Yeah, that's true.
There was a time when Pacquiao was trying to get to Mayweather. He started copying and going after the guys Mayweather beat. Ricky Hatton comes to mind. Mm-hmm. So you start following duplication. Like, look, I beat this guy, you beat this guy. Then maybe you might get lucky. Somebody might open up. Continue on.
Do you think Plant still has the motivation to fight after getting beat by Canelo the way he did?
I mean, it's money. Yeah, he'll still fight. He's not old. And particularly if he beats Benavidez, he might get another shot at something.
Yeah.
So, and Plant, when you look at that fight with Canelo, he did pretty well early on.
Yeah, and he ran out of gas.
So, hey, why not give him another shot? At 160, this guy's had this title since 2018. Demetrius Andre been crying for a fight. He threatened Canelo, got thrown out the press conference. He wants to fight a Charlo. And Oscar De La Hoya has a guy, Jamie Mangua. Mangua is 40-0. Demetrius Andre, you want to make a statement? Fight this dude, man. 40-0. You know, it's one of those things, 40-0. Possibility where we might have a mandatory at 154, Jamel Charlo and Tim Tszyu. Mm-hmm. Tszyu's father's a Hall of Famer, and he's 21-0. May not be ready, not have enough experience, but they're going on too. Of course, Terry Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Hopefully we'll see that in October. Two other fights real quickly. Time for an eliminator, but before the eliminator, let's do the eliminator at 147. Old versus old, not too old. Keith Thurman, you're not getting those fights with either Crawford or Spence, bro. We know that. So you need to take this eliminator. And the eliminator is with your Dennis Ugas. Yeah, we need to see that fight. Eliminator to move on to see if they're ready to step up.
Okay.
And last but not least, even though this will never happen because they don't want to risk the fight future of either one of these guys, I would love to see it because they're this close in the rankings. At 147, Jaron Ennis, Boots Ennis versus Boots Ennis is 29-0 versus Virgil Ortiz Jr., 18-0.
Okay. So, like Buddy McGurk said in our interview with him, you should be a matchmaker in these fights. You should be a matchmaker because those are some good fights that I would like to see happen. There's a fight in July, I think July 30th, with Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Which is Jose, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right, Benavidez.
Yes.
And so what do you see in that fight?
Well, it's going to be interesting because Danny Garcia is moving up from 147. A lot going on. I think he got older, may not be as fast, but he thinks his power is going to come up. Danny Swift Garcia, 154. So this is a good test for him. He's fighting Benavidez. Benavidez only losses to Terrence Crawford. And at 147, Benavidez is the younger brother of David Benavidez.
Right.
And he's a tough customer. He punches real hard. I think Terrence Crawford dropped him and knocked him out in the 11th round. It will be a good test for Danny Garcia. It will let you know whether or not he belongs in there. I think one of the issues Benavidez had, one was he was almost drained trying to come down to 147. Mm-hmm. The other thing too, he was recovering from, he had just got shot. Gunshot, sharpened or whatever was still in his leg when he fought Crawford.
Right.
So now he should be all good to go. And we'll find out if Danny Swift Garcia is back and ready at 154 because Benavidez will not be a pushover.
Yeah. And there's some fights coming up. I'm sure when we come back from the summer, we'll review some of the fights. Hopefully one of these fights or a few of these fights are the fights of the year. Any other news before we get off the air?
Yeah, man, just want you to keep watching and paying attention. I think we got some good things coming up. One last thing, there's been a lot of talk on some rumors, and maybe you just throwing it out there, hoping it happens. But there's supposedly Oscar De La Hoya is announcing or just broadcasting that he has been offered a lot of money to sell Golden Boy. He hasn't decided whether or not he wants to do it. He says, I love boxing, whatever, but then maybe we've done all we can do. And he has not said who the people that are potential suitors or buyers are. But in a perfect world for me, I think I wish I had the money. I would get a team together. And there's one person I wanted to buy it from, Oscar De La Hoya. And that's Schaefer. Schaefer is the guy that used to run Golden Boy when Oscar was having his problems.
Okay.
And he could really turn things around, do some other things. Richard Schaefer could do some things. Richard Schaefer could make some things happen. He could turn it around and make Golden Boy profitable and really outstanding as it was. Because for a long time, Rich Schaefer would work with Floyd Mayweather when Floyd and Oscar De La Hoya were not getting along. He's found a way to get it done.
So any chance that Mayweather buys it?
Nah, he won't sell it to him. He that you know one thing about Oscar, that's pettiness. Oscar's not gonna let Floyd Mayweather, the guy that he swear that he beat, he's not, and they're competitors. He's not gonna let him take his company and blow it up and make more money than him.
Or Bob Arum?
Nah, Bob is having a problem with keeping his top rank together. I think it's time for some new blood, bro. I mean, if you're gonna do that, hopefully somebody, like I said, with Schaefer would be awesome because he knows the whole gamut. He knows the ins and outs of it. He'd be perfect, but maybe he doesn't have the money. But somebody that really has a real keen on and understand boxing, but also understands the business, and really keep it flowing. Because what we need more than anything, we need these guys signing in these boxers, and then also making them make sure they get their money, but also setting up great matches.
Okay. He's Icewater and Puma. This is the fight game.
Champ is here. The remix. Champ is here.